Hello, Internet. It's a lot harder in today's world to be a real artist. It's a lot easier to be a content creator. And I think there is some overlap, but I think a lot of people think that they're artists and they're actually content creators, or they were at one point an artist and they became content creators almost on accident. So let's talk about it. So there was a time where content didn't exist, social media didn't exist. Posting yourself working on art was not a required step to becoming successful. But basically, if you want to be an artist and you want to succeed in the modern world, you pretty much have to post content because how else are people going to find out about you? You could go like the old school ways if you're a fine artist, like going through galleries, or, you know, if you're a musician going on tour, playing local shows, building up your presence in real life that way. And I think those things are still important and are still necessary, and there's a lot of value there. But even then, like sometimes booking a show, you have to have a social media presence. Like if you don't have over 1,000 followers on Instagram, you're probably going to have a hard time finding a show, to play or someone to book you unless you're putting on your own shows, which, that's a great idea too. But I think the problem is not with content itself. I think that, it is what it is. That's just the world we live in now. That's just how things are. But I think what happens with some people, and myself included, because I make art and I make content and I try to, balance it to the best of my ability. But I think what happens is people start to make content to promote their art, but then the content itself is more successful than their art. So then they just start making content and that's what they do, you know? It's like the artist to content creator pipeline almost. And I think it's easy to get trapped there, and it's easy to, stop working on your art if your content is successful. Now, I know this might be like a little weird because I'm differentiating the two so much. And like I said, I think there is crossover between art and content. I think content can be art. I think art can be content, depending on how you look at it. But if you want to be a content creator, great. If you don't care about being an artist or whatever, then just make content and it is what it is. That's what you want to do. But if you really have a passion for art specifically, and you want to be an artist and you want to be known for your art and you want that to be like the forefront of the presentation of what you do online and in the real world, you're going to have to tread lightly in the world of content because you might get addicted to that attention. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a musician. I've made music my whole life. For most of my life, my dream was to be a musician. That's what I thought I wanted to do. Then the older I got, the more I realized that I would rather just my music be for me. And, if people like it, that's cool. I'll share it when I feel ready. But I don't want to have to do things related to music in order for me to succeed and make money. Because I'm very precious with my art. I'm very precious with my music. And I don't want to have to sacrifice my integrity just to make money and just to be successful, because you have to do that a little bit sometimes. I mean, everyone's different, but by and large, you kind of have to play the game to win the game. You know what I mean? And that's what this all is. It's a game. So for me, it's a lot easier for me to just talk and let my ideas out and make videos about them and not really think about it and not really get too attached to them, because these are just things I'm thinking about all the time, and I can just, let it out, record it, upload it, and just be done with it. And if people like it, that's great. And, people do like it. I've been getting more attention for my videos, especially recently, than I ever did with my music. But this also applies to my real life. So I'll explain, like I said, I've been making music my whole life, but people haven't really come to me in my real life for my music. I made a video recently about your friends not liking your music, and that, in my experience, has been the case. But what people do come to me for in my real life is for my perspective and my ideas. It started more so with mental health and therapy. A lot of my friends would talk to me about, their mental health struggles, because I've been to therapy for a while and I have a lot of experience with therapy and dealing with mental health. And then, people talk to me about music too, but it's always more like conceptual. It's not necessarily like they don't reach out to me because they like my music. They reach out to me because they like the way I think about art and the way I think about music. So that's why I started putting more effort into my YouTube channel, because that seemed like that's what people wanted from me. So I'm saying all this to say, use that as a gauge for what you want to do with art and with content. What are people in your real life coming to you for? If you're making music or you're making art and no one in your real life really cares, then, maybe make some content so that other people will find out about it. That could be, that could work great. Or if you don't want to make content, then just accept that that's what it is, like, again, everybody's path is different. So don't take what I'm saying as like this is what you have to do, because I don't even really know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just trying things still. I'm just doing what I think feels good and what I enjoy. I enjoy making these videos, so I'm going to keep making these videos. I enjoy making music, I'm going to keep making music. That's just my path. But I think the water kind of gets muddied when it comes to art and content. And I think ultimately maybe it doesn't really matter that much, but I think as far as your where you are mentally in your intention with creating, I think that's where it is really important. Because if you're fine with people knowing you for your content more than your music, then just make content. Just do that. That's fine, you know? But if you really want people to know you for your music more than your content, you're going to have to figure out another way to make content to promote your music that doesn't have the content supersede your music. If that makes sense. Let me explain. So, like, let's say you don't care if people know you for your content more than your music. You can do sketches, you can do like trendy things to try to get more attention, because whatever works, it's going to work, and then you can just keep doing that thing and just keep getting more and more eyes on you, you know? But that's only okay if you're okay with that. Because if you start to succeed doing something you don't really like, down the road, you're not going to want to keep doing that. And then you're going to end up kind of being back where you were, not really sure what to do. And you can do funny videos. You can talk about other things that aren't specifically related to your art, and that could bring in more viewers and stuff. But if you really want people to just know you for your art or just know you for your music, let's say you have a music video, like, you can just clip up the music video and post that as shorts. And, maybe it won't get as much attention unless it's like a really amazing song and video. But at least people will know you for your art and music and not for your content, That's just one example. Like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. But I do think it's important as a creator to know what you're doing. At least have an idea. You don't have to have an end goal in mind. You don't have to have an end product in mind necessarily. But I think within yourself, knowing what your intentions are and what you want to create is really important. Because, look, even as I'm saying this, you don't have to make content. You don't have to make videos. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. That's all just for algorithms on social media platforms owned by giant corporations. That's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Like, me succeeding on YouTube is basically just me wanting to get ad revenue from Google. Like, aside from wanting people to hear my ideas and connect with me and see my videos, like, past that, what it ultimately is, I'm like a contractor for Google, and they give me cuts of ad revenue. That's like best case scenario for a successful YouTuber. So if that's not something you want to do, then you don't have to do it. You can just make your art and do whatever you want and just leave it at that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like it really matters? Is there a big difference between being an artist, being a content creator? How much does that matter to you when it comes to creating? Let me know in the comments if you want. I put a new video out every Sunday. So if you like this video, you can come back next week for a new one, and I'll see you then.